Hi, everyone. Today we are with Tim Armbruster, the CEO of Grind Analytics. Tim, how are you?
Good. I'm doing great, Judy. Thank you for having me.
Good. Thanks for coming on. I know you're a busy man, and it's always nice to have that break and learn more about your business.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, Tim, can you share a bit of your career background and what your role is?
Yeah, for sure. So I've spent the past 24 years in mortgage technology. I started with First American, building enterprise technology for the um, really lender-facing technology for the largest lenders in the country. So
Hmm.
everything from order processing to title platforms, appraisal management platforms, integration with all the services required to really to fulfill a mortgage. And so spent several years there, had an opportunity to leave and join a company called Closing Corp. Closing Corp, the vision there was to provide consumers with the opportunity to shop for other closing services. And so we built a nationwide network of service providers, live rates across the country where you could shop for and get live rates for 30 different service categories. So if you needed a well inspector in the middle of Kansas, for example, we
Hmm.
had a well inspector for you with a live rate. And for the most part, you could shop for other service providers as well. And that was a huge data intensive um, project. And so
Right.
got really focused my career on the data side. And that company was ultimately successful, was sold to that company was sold. So a very successful outcome. That became what the industry understands as smart fees, uh,
Right.
providing live rates for mortgage applications in the mortgage application process. And so from there, we developed several products at Closing Corp. And in my career, one of the gaps I felt that I had is I'd never actually worked within a mortgage company. And always looking from the outside in, I wanted to have the experience of working for a mortgage company. I had the opportunity to do that for a mid-sized lender
Hmm.
and join that company to do that. And one of the first things that I saw within that mortgage company was that they were taking their data, their management data, operations data at the end of the month, extracting it from the various platforms, their loan origination platforms, their CRMs, et cetera, their accounting systems, everything that they required to run their business, extracting it
Right.
into Excel, and then at the end of the month, mashing that up in Excel and producing the reports, management reports, and distributing that. So they're really sort of 6 weeks behind what they
Mhm.
need to do when they needed to act if there was a problem with their
Right.
operations. And so I saw this as a real issue. I looked at uh, different products that were on the market for them and didn't find anything that really met the needs of this organization. They weren't in a position to fund a build out of that
Right.
type of technology. And so I asked them if that that company if they would mind if we created a separate company to build out a data and analytics business intelligence platform, not just for them, but for the industry as a whole. And that's where Grind Analytics was born.
Oh, wow. That's incredible. Yeah, I love hearing the transformation and what led you, because that was my next question was what was your vision of Grind Analytics? And pretty much answered it already. And it came out of a need, it sounds like, right, Tim?
Yeah, it really did come out of a technology need initially.
Right.
And it was just that we really needed them to have live, real-time data that had sort of the key indicators, uh, key KPIs at their fingertips at all times. And so
Right.
the vision at that time, and the vision that we realized is that they would sort of have a literal wall full of dashboards that were
Oh
running.
my goodness.
And they did that. They built the big
Hmm.
screen monitors. So in each of the operations areas, they had large screen monitors with the KPIs running in real time that showed them in real time how their business was performing. Contrast that to what they had before. It was very focused on just management reports that were just circulated with management, and it was 6 weeks behind when they really needed to act, where now
Right.
everyone had data at their fingertips.
Right.
And it wasn't just management, those were available in open workspaces, et cetera. So that was the vision at that time, as really more technology. But it did lead into what the vision, and we've added other products too. I'm really focused on the data and analytics, the business intelligence piece of our business right now. We have other products as well that we've added to the mix, but staying on the data and analytics track, we've developed a product which we now call Modem. And the vision for that product has become, and that vision is really honed over the years, has become, we're really trying to be the scoreboard for a business. And that means a lot to me. We're really trying to facilitate a data-driven culture and a data-driven environment for businesses. And when I think about being a scoreboard, it really takes me to a culture that is more similar to a football game. And so a lot of elements of a football game that I think, and I have a sports background, so a lot of a lot of elements of a football game, I think, can translate to business. So, for example, everyone knows what the score is. You can immediately look at the scoreboard, understand how the game is going. You should be able to do the same with the business. Immediate look.
Right.
Everyone should be able to look at the scoreboard and understand how they're doing. They should understand what their role is in the business, how their role impacts the outcome, who's winning, who's losing,
Right.
where we are in the game, everything like that. All that translates to business, and because of that, it starts to create this culture of excitement, of a game, and that's really the culture that we want to help our customers create, where everyone is motivated, everyone knows what the score is, everyone understands where they're at, how they contribute, and create a culture of celebration and wins, and so that's sort of the culture that we want to try to create at a high level. So that's the vision, trying to be the scoreboard, help customers create that culture. And I think that's a high performing culture. People become more self-motivated. There's a lot of studies on that we can add to that, but really creating that data-driven culture is what we're trying to help our customers create. So over the years, we've had to augment just what we have from a technology perspective, to adding more consultative services around
Right.
helping customers with the implementation, with the culture change, with the rollout to their organization, as well as the discovery up front that really helps them understand what drives their business, how their business is structured, what their goals are, et cetera. So it becomes a complete consultative process, and that process we've labeled a fast forward program. So it wraps around it. It's not just a technology implementation; it's a fast forward process. Really accounts for the cultural change.
Got it. So, Tim, just to kind of sum it up, as far as your services from Grind Analytics, are you saying, I love that concept about keeping it live in real time? So you're integrating multiple platforms of data intelligence into one, and then spurring that motivation as a team to want to win because you see the data performance. I love that concept.
Right.
So in general, just so the audience know, what are can you just share more about specific services? Like you mentioned, it sounds like a lot of customization or some and transferring of data. Can you talk a bit more about specifically the services that you do provide?
Yeah, fundamentally. So let's break down the Grind Analytics offering. First
Okay.
and foremost, our leading product is Modem. Modem
Okay.
is a data and analytics platform specifically developed for the mortgage industry, although it does have applications outside of the mortgage industry. So it's not truly pigeonholed to mortgage, but
Right.
majority of our implementations are within mortgage. So the modem product is it has built-in connectors for many dozens of current mortgage applications. So
Mhm.
spanning from loan origination platforms, CRMs, um, accounting platforms, uh, many different platforms, HR platforms, etc. So what we do is we aggregate all that data together into one place, our centralized data
Right.
warehouse, and that data model is built dynamically by our proprietary ETL platform. So as more data is integrated into the platform, that data model changes, and through point and click configuration, you can you can configure your own scores, KPIs, et cetera,
Right.
in that platform. So it automatically builds that data model for you. Then that data model is exposed through primarily Power BI is our platform of choice. And we have uh, well over 500 canned reports
Oh, wow.
available for Power BI that sit on
Yeah.
top of our data model. So out of the box, you're getting a very robust, rich platform. And that's really the technology side of it. The implementation, as I said, is I would consider a big part of the service, and that's our Fast Forward program. And how that's our method and methodology for implementation of that product.
Got it.
So that's Motor. Yeah.
Yeah. So Tim, I'm just just so I'm understanding it myself as well. Using this kind of business intelligence. So if you were in marketing, another person in sales, and another one's in operations or even HR, you're viewing this dashboard in real time of data that's coming in, right? So
Mhm.
are you saying this is going to help a lot of decision making for management and the direction of their strategy or generating leads? Can you talk more about that?
Yeah, and as I said, there's well over 500 reports. So
Yeah, I
pick,
know. That's
pick
incredible.
pick maybe a couple samples of.
Yes.
So, for example, suppose you wanted to understand the ROI on a marketing campaign.
Right.
Okay. So the ROI on a marketing campaign for a mortgage industry, or a lot of different industries, but particularly the mortgage industry, is kind of complex. If you really actually want to understand your ROI, you need to know, okay, you need to connect to your CRM and make sure you understand the performance of your KPI. You need to understand the costs of that campaign.
Hmm.
You need to understand how that actually converted into the loan origination system. So that
Hmm.
conversion rate, but a lot of conversion stats in the mortgage industry sort of end there. Did it convert to an
Mm.
app? Did it not convert to an app? But was that how profitable was that? Did that app convert to a loan? Did it,
Right.
did
Did
it,
it become successful?
did it,
Right.
did it close? What was the
Right.
profitability of that loan when it did close? So your true ROI, so that's just an example of, you need to be able to connect to multiple different systems to be able to really get the true intelligence that you need. And so that's
Got
where
it.
Modem really comes into play. It extracts data from all of these systems, pulls them together into one place, and you're able to do things like, one of the features of Modem is you can create custom funnels that pull together um, any set of events that happen in the platform. So you can see your conversion rate throughout your entire mortgage
Right.
process, not just one platform. And so that's one example. Another example is, suppose you in your, say, your appraisal team, you want to understand the performance of your individual team members within appraisal. And so things you need to account for are, how many widgets did they produce, or how many appraisals did they submit to the appraisal companies,
Right.
things like that. So that would be, you need to be able to track that. A lot of times that's going to be in your loan origination platform. But you also need to understand how many days did they work.
Oh, wow. Right.
how many days they work,
Yeah,
how many hours did they work, things like that. That's going to come from your HR platform. So if
right.
you're really benchmarking and doing side-by-side performance evaluation, there's a lot of different factors that you need to account for. So that's another example of really, to get true business intelligence, you need to pull in data from multiple sources, and that's what Modem does. It pulls in that data, it automatically generates the data model
Mm,
in our data model, and then you're able to take that data model, configure scores, configure funnels, configure what we call as uh, benchmarks, and
right.
allow you to, and then plug all of that data into our set of reports.
Got it. No, that makes total sense, and it helps clarify a lot of the questions that I had as well. And so it sounds like this is a very robust tool to support that data intelligence so the business can figure out and navigate this landscape of which direction is the most successful direction. Because if you don't have any data, you're kind of walking around blindly, right? I mean, so how come, I'm just curious, Tim, how come some businesses, they're very good at adopting some sort of a technology like this, and then some other businesses don't? Why is it that some, shouldn't every business have this?
Yeah, I think there are multiple reasons. One is,
Yeah.
typically there's a cost to do this. So
Oh,
uh,
right,
I mean, just leave our platform aside. I think our platform, when you really look at the economics of it, it's very inexpensive. Uh,
right,
but if you're going to build a team of people to do this on your own, you're going to spend, I mean, just if you had just one DBA, which isn't enough, but just
yeah,
one DBA is going to cost you maybe 150 grand a year. I mean, it's
right,
very expensive, and that doesn't include
right,
all of the services that you need, the time to implement that, and maybe it take you 2 years to build something like that. So this is not a small initiative to build
right,
out a platform like that. If
right,
you and one DBA is not enough, you're going to need business analysts, you're going to need report developers, things like that. So it can be a very expensive and time consuming initiative. So looking at that versus customers who say, you know what, I can extract this data from my platforms, I can match it up in Excel, and I'll live with that. That's pretty simple to do, something like that,
right.
relatively, and it's very inexpensive. So
Wow,
customers, especially smaller customers, still sort of stay on that track. Uh,
right,
so it can be expensive to do that. Your other option is to go look at a third party software platform to do it. A lot of the platforms and our competitors out there really pigeonhole customers into a certain set of reports, a certain set of platforms, and they're not
mhm,
flexible. And so that's one of the reasons why initially, when I was at a mortgage company, I looked at the different platforms. They really pigeonholed you into a certain way of thinking. It weren't very customizable. You couldn't really develop your own reports, things like that. So that's why we ended up not choosing uh, sort of off-the-shelf software that was available at that time. So we allow, because we expose our data model in Power BI, we allow our customers to build their own custom reports in Power BI. So we're giving them the power at their fingertips to really build their own reports if they choose to do that. Of course, we offer that service as well to them.
right. No, that's great. I mean, I'm curious now as you're talking more about it, it sounds like this is almost a necessary component for scaling businesses, isn't it? I mean, if you want to get to the next level of becoming, let's say, an enterprise business versus a small, medium-sized business, isn't this almost a bridge to get you to scale, to be able to somehow, like what you're saying, aggregating that information and that data to get you to that next level?
To be competitive and past a certain scale, you absolutely have to have this. I mean, there's no
Right.
question about it. Um, every company of any size, every mortgage company of any size is doing this in some form.
Right.
Whether
That
they're
makes sense.
doing it
Yeah.
back in and not doing it well, whether
Mhm.
they're, spot checking, whether they're doing it in some form, whether they realize it or not. Okay.
Right.
They're, they're probably not doing it well if they're not doing it the way we do it.
Right.
And
Right.
so it really comes down to, if you're looking at to be very efficient, with your mortgage operations process, if you're looking at being very efficient with your lead buys and how you're marketing, if you're,
Right.
it really comes down to efficiency, and efficiency leads to profitability.
Hmm.
So if you're looking to be competitive, to be profitable, if you're looking to recruit new teams of loan officers, but you don't have an efficient operations, it's going to be very difficult to provide a competitive offering to them.
Right.
When you're looking at scaling, exactly what you said, Judy, when you're looking at scaling, you have to have something like this in place.
Yes, that makes total sense. And I'm curious, does it integrate or can you integrate this with like HubSpot or Salesforce or how does that work?
Yeah, well, we do have built-in adapters. For example, for Salesforce, we have built-in adapters, so that's point
Right.
and configuration. HubSpot, we do have a built-in adapter for that, I believe, as well. So many of the platforms that are available, that are commonly used, we already have built-in
Yeah.
adapters. That's just going into our admin portal, configuring the connection,
Mhm.
boom, there it is. It's done. So, and then you can utilize that data that comes from those platforms to build scorecards. Um,
Customized marketing reports.
then it's really the it's that's available to you in the platform to use within Modem. So
Yeah, that's good to know because I know a lot of businesses do use Salesforce and HubSpot, and I feel that that's a question that people will ask is this compatible or is there a plugin? Is it will it
mhm,
integrate?
yeah.
So I'm glad that it does.
Mhm.
Tim, how do you accelerate customer success?
If particularly if you're um, looking at comparing this eh, to doing this internally.
Right,
This is something that we've developed over the course of several years, and we've rethought and re-engineered how we've built this at least twice from the ground up.
right, right.
So I think, if you're looking at doing this internally, I think it legitimately is a 2-year process to
Oh,
have.
wow. Yeah.
And we can in as little as 6 weeks, sometimes less, sometimes more, depends on the customer. We can have something up and running where you're looking at management reports, and dashboards. So I mean, just accelerating the success of implementation of a business intelligence solution, I think that's a no-brainer that we're going to take that from a multi-year
Mhm.
project, which may or may not be successful, to a, you know, 6 weeks to 3 month probably
Right.
project
And
to
it's
implement.
always good to go to the expert that has been doing this for 20 some years rather than
Yeah,
having it done internally where they're probably going to have multiple errors and there's going to be a setback in time and scheduling and so forth. Um,
that's the biggest thing, and I just want to
yeah,
hit on that. I mean, we haven't always been successful. I mean, you look back in our past and some of the, some of the mistakes that we've made. I think one is, we didn't really have enough of a business process around our technology implementation. So really building out a process for how we collect what the key drivers of the business is, how we, and having a defined process to say, okay, what are the areas of your business? What are those executives that are responsible for those? What keeps them up at night? How do we
right.
success? And we have a process around that. So making sure that when we produce a set of reports and dashboards, that it really does hit
The
in
marks, the different marks. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then having a process after the fact for how we implement that and roll that out, and we support the organization. We create champions within their organization to really own this and move it forward. So I think one of the things that we see, and one of the biggest issues that we've seen in the past, is not so much about our technology or the implementation. It's that you can absolutely produce a set of reports that work great from a technology perspective. They look great, and
Right.
they sit and nobody uses.
Oh, goodness.
And
Yeah.
so really fighting that. And so if you're looking at, creating a data-driven culture, which I think is super, super important, and really realizing the benefits of that, it has to really hit the marks, and
Mhm.
you have to go through the change management to roll that out into the organization. And I think that's one of the big lessons that we've learned around that. So that on its own, not even considering the technology build out, that on its own, and having us really help an organization step through that process, I think will really help to accelerate them. And then, technology build out has not been trivial at all. I mean,
Right, right.
that a lot of customers we have, we have a customer right now who opted not to use us and spent the last 6 months trying to build something out. They don't have anything at all at this point, and
Yeah,
they've come back to us and said, "Okay, let's talk again." So we see a lot of that. It's the odds of success of business intelligent implementation is not 100%. I mean,
right.
maybe 50% is what I'd say.
Got
So,
it.
right.
Yeah, I was going to just ask you about that question, is to give an example of a client coming to you in dire straits, and you just mentioned it that they were delayed another 6 months because they didn't know what they were doing. And that's why experts like you and Grind Analytics are there to help guide them through the process. And it's really interesting for me to hear is that another that added component is it's like what you're saying, it's not the technological, artificial intelligence and data intelligence, but your consultancy is helping guide these businesses and the processes as well. And that must be a huge relief for a lot of clients that are pretty much in the dark.
Yeah, technology business executives are so busy. I mean, to really
Yes,
take on an initiative of this
it's not
size and scope without, somebody to sort of guide them through that process, uh,
right.
it's a lot. And then, putting that on your existing technology team, whether they have,
Yeah,
I think organizations really have to be honest with themselves. Do they have time to take this on?
the capacity. Mm.
Yeah, to me, it's really a no-brainer that you engage someone like us, but of course I have a little bit biased, but yeah.
No, 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 got it. And it totally understandable. Tim, what do you think clients like most about your services?
Uh, well, I think one of the things that they do like is, all the key members of our team all
Mhm.
come from mortgage.
Oh,
They've
wow.
years in the
Okay.
mortgage process. We do
Right.
understand, we talk the talk. We understand the mortgage process, and we bring understanding to the table where other companies that really focus more on technology, they may not really understand that. And there's definitely a learning curve in mortgage. And so I've been an executive at several organizations in the mortgage space, serving the mortgage industry for 24 years. And
Right.
um, members of my team all have similar experience. So
Right. But
really,
Tim, your business of Grind Analytics is not it's not specific only to mortgages. You can customize it to other industries, correct?
right. So, when we really talk about our products, we've spent most of our time today talking about mortgage.
Right.
And we've spent most of the time we've talked about Modem, our product, but we do have other products. So we have Modem is a product that we've spent most of our time talking about. It's a business intelligence solution for the mortgage space. We have Loan Force, which is um, a CRM and operations platform for mortgage.
Got
So
it.
That's another one, so we can talk about that maybe another time. We have RateSpan, which is
Mm.
another product of ours. It's the mortgage shopping experience that you can expose on your website if you're a mortgage lender. So those are all really focused on mortgage. We also have professional services that is pretty broad in what we offer. We offer custom software development services. We also offer um, business intelligence implementations that are not using our modem product, but that are just custom for specific customer needs. And those services really are far outside of mortgage. We have almost
Right,
every vertical that you could think of. So it's, I mean, but it does help us having that experience in other industries because we can bring those same concepts from other industries. Oh, this industry really does this well. Oh, this industry
right.
really does this well, and we can bring that back to mortgage. And so we have experience in everything you can think of, from tugboat companies, construction, health, insurance. We have customers in really broad verticals that all have similar needs around either custom software development or building out centralized data repositories and exposing that in business intelligence solutions. We are a Microsoft Gold partner, and
Mhm.
we've specifically focused on business intelligence. And so that's, I think, the top 2% of customers, top 2% of Microsoft partners.
Right.
So,
No, that's great. I mean, it sounds like you have a very diverse array of industries, and I would love to see how it goes with the medical industry. It's much needed there, I think. So, but it's nice to know that your company is somewhat industry agnostic, and it sounds like you're going to specialize in these multiple vertical markets.
definitely.
Tim, what is your leadership style as a CEO?
Well, I think I'm still very um, be hands-on.
Yeah, yeah, it's good. That's good.
I
Like you
mean,
haven't changed your personality or
yeah, I can
or
still
yeah,
be very hands-on. I'm very passionate about the product. I really,
right.
I, I think as I've gotten older, I really want to enable and coach more.
Yes.
I think that's become my leadership style, really enabling
Mm,
and really helping people to be the best that they can be.
right.
And so that's taken me sort of out of a lot of the hands-on. Um,
Mhm.
uh, this I'll help them,
Guide people and guide
help guide
businesses.
them when I need to. So I really enjoy that aspect of it. I enjoy the coaching aspect of it. Much
Right.
more rewarding, I think, than managing. It's
Got it.
coaching is
That's
and I have a
wonderful.
really great team, and it's been really great to see them grow over the years and take these things on. Really, you know, take the passion and the vision and
Yes.
take it on their own. And they're
Right.
passionate about the same things that I'm passionate about, I think, and I learn from them every day too.
Wonderful. It sounds like a very harmonious team. Tim, we're coming to a close of the interview. I just have a few last questions for you. One is, what is an aspect of your job that you enjoy the most?
I think again, coaching, there's I think two big aspects. One is
Yes.
working with my team, coaching them, and seeing them really grow, and this I really love that aspect of it.
Right.
Uh, with customers, I think when we stand up that first dashboard, stand up that first report, and they have that oh man moment where this is
Right.
awesome. That's what really drives me. Um, and then we get to work with a lot of great technology, especially like what's coming out with AI, and we'll talk about that a lot more probably in another interview. But
Yes.
um, what's coming out with AI is just so exciting, and so we get to work on the sort of the bleeding edge of that, and
Yeah.
that's really
Yeah.
exciting as well. And but working with my team, really seeing them grow, seeing sort of our customers, eyes light up when we show them that first report and with their
Yeah,
data, and getting to work with bleeding edge technology sometimes is really exciting. That's what drives me.
that's awesome. Tim, my last question for you, and it can be anything in business, life, spiritual philosophy. Do you have a message for the world?
Uh, that's a good
It's
question.
a broad question, I know, but it could
Uh,
be literally anything, life quote, philosophy, business, mindset, anything.
yeah, I think that's good. My son's graduating high school, and so I've had a lot of time to think about, what advice I would give him or what, and
Right.
really find, I mean, I guess it's a cliche, but find what you're passionate about and really dive deep into that. And um, and that's really rewarding when you're able to do that. We've been able to do that at Grind Analytics, and just really dive deep. You're not, a lot of people have a concept about themselves
Right.
that is limiting, and you're not limited. You can absolutely change who you are. You can change your abilities. You can change anything about yourself if you just dive deep and put the work into it. So,
Thank you, Tim. I love that. The unlimited power. Thank you again, Tim. I enjoyed interviewing you, and we will see you next time.
all right. Thank you, Judy.
Thanks, Tim.